Hey, it's Lowery Smith of the CommanderSmiths here with searching for the Spotlight Teysa Opulent Oligarch. We've got a nice shiny foil. I don't know how much I like. I mean, like, I kind of like the way that the foil looks on these showcases, but I don't like how every card kind of looks just like a white card, if you know what I mean. But it's a cool idea, cool foil. Um, so, but Teysa, Opulent Oligarch. One and a white and a black, 2/3 Death Touch Human Advisor. At the beginning of your end step, investigate for each opponent who lost life this turn. Whenever a clue you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token. With flying, this ability triggers only once each turn. All right. And so right there we have the commander. And the Commander Smiths is a weekly podcast that records every Monday night live here on YouTube. Also, you can find us on any um, audio podcast thing that you listen to. Apple, Podbean, the big guys. Um, but also we just do a ton of stuff. There's the podcast. We do some card shorts, just talking about some different types of cards, just randomly in short form. We do deck building. We do some gameplay every once in a while. So there's a lot, and you don't have to watch it all. But if there's something that you like and you're into, I'm sure that we kind of do it. We do some finance. We do secret layer stuff, pre-con upgrades, downgrades, whatever grades you need, but also just always open to talk and email and message in. We have a Discord with a Patreon if you so want to become one. That'd be great. We give away proxies to our patrons monthly, and that's kind of what it is. So Teysa Opulent Oligarch is going to be a deck, it's making clues and it's making spirit tokens. So I know we're going to want to do some token doubling in here. And then also you want to be able to damage or have everybody lose life on your turn. And so not necessarily going to have something like Zulaport Cutthroat, but something like it. Not exactly that, but something like it. And then we're just gonna see where it goes. So yeah, this is very shiny. First off, if you haven't been with me and you're live, we go through all the cards and then we talk about and we cut as we go along. And I have, I think it's a little over 100 at this point. I think, it changes throughout the week as I'm trying to make it more efficient of a video. Give me a second. Let me see if that probably helps a bit. There we go. I think that is better. Um, so I know I'm under 130 cards at this point. Generally takes 45 to an hour. This is probably more on the 45-minute side. And then as we go, we cut, and then we go through and we cut, and I try and get it down into lower 70s before I kind of call it a night and or 2 hours. So hopefully this doesn't go that long. If you are watching and not live, you definitely can just 2 times speed this. I talk slow enough, I go through the cards slow enough. You're not gonna miss a thing. All right. Uh, any questions, just ask in the comments or in the chat. Either way, let's do this. All right. Cards that I've picked out so far at this point, brand new. I was just able to go and buy all the new cards today, and there's definitely some missing. Um, that'll be what it'll be. This is real life here. All right. Not just digital where I can just add everything in. All right. I think I did not organize this into um what they do, but I organized it into CMC at this point. So you'll get a gist of what's going to happen, but not necessarily all in one place. I normally like to start off with like ramp and then draw and then da da da. So this is just in CMC order. This is going to be the ones lead pipe. Um, Equipped creature gets +2/+0, and then whenever it dies, each opponent loses 1 life. So it's that. And then you can sacrifice lead pipe to draw a card because it is a clue. Equip 2. Um, this is likely just. I'm just gonna cut it. Let's let's be honest. I think it's okay if you're sacrificing creatures, but you'll see it eventually that I'm looking to have my cake and eat it too, where it's going to be sack outlets that have people lose the life. And so I don't have to have sack outlets and stuff like this. So right off the bat, I'm just going to cut this. Novice Inspector, brand new as well. 1/2 ETB Investigate, real cheap, real easy. Gives you an early game, kind of getting some hits in. If Taste is around, you might get one or two clues on top of that. But I like this at this point. Dispatch, tap target creature, or if you have more than 3 or more artifacts, it will exile that creature. And I'm thinking that I'll have a bunch of clues laying around. I don't know. Mana Vault. Normally, I don't do Mana Vault or Grim Manolith, but I think I'm going to have enough sacrifice. So treat it more like a ritual with the sacrifice added to it. Like I don't ever plan on untapping these. I plan on sacrificing them after their use. So we'll see. So Mana Vault, Springleaf Drum, just being able to tap a creature for any color of mana that I want with that in place. Same thing with Paradise Mantle, equipment that allows that creature to turn into a Birds of Paradise. Mox Opal, Metalcraft, add any color. So nice thing is artifact Metalcrafts add to themselves. It's basically saying Metalcraft reduced by 1. They're great. Wayfarer's Bauble, go get any basic for 1 and 2 to activate. Soul Ring, yep. Surge of Salvation, a white. You and permanents you control gain hexproof until the end of turn, and then prevent damage from black or red. So that's pretty nice as well. You got Flawless Maneuver. It's one of them proxies that my cousin makes, and we give out to patrons if they so wish. Yeah, so Indestructible for a go wide deck is pretty important. You got Vat of Rebirth. Whenever another artifact or creature you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, put an oil counter on it, and then you can remove like 4 oil counters to reanimate something on that bottom part. This is going to be pretty good here. There's going to be some sacrificing along with just the clues, obviously. And so it's nice little reanimation part. Armor of Shadows, 1 black instant. Until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+0 and indestructible. Nice little cheap protection. Thraben Inspector, 1/2 ETB Investigate. It's basically Novice Inspector. It is. It's not basically. It is. You got Esper Sentinel here. Oh, I was gonna Sensei's Top. Let's keep that out. Vicious Rumors. It deals 1 damage to each opponent, so surrounding. And then they all have to discard. They also have to mill 1, and then you gain 1 life. So that part doesn't matter, but it's really cheap. Kind of hurts everybody. And they got a discard for 1 black mana. That's a lot going on. And Thrall Parasite, 1/1 Extort. And that's the big thing is cheap Extort cards allow you to get that kind of like life lost to everybody so that you investigate pretty easy. All right. So whenever a clue you control is for each opponent who lost life this turn. So more than likely, you're just going to investigate. Let's see here. I want to find there we go. Esper Sentinel. There we go. Sweet. All right. So is there anything else? We just got rid of Lead Pipe. I like Thrall Parasite. Going through, I think I like Armor's Shadows, but I don't think Teysa, like it's just directly on Teysa. Vat of Rebirth is still solid. Yeah. Surge, Soul, Wayfarer's Bauble, Mox, Parasite, Manifold. We're gonna have to take a look at our ramp, but right now I think I'm fine with that. Let's go through our 2s. All right. Astrid Peth. This is from the Doctor Who. But when ETBs or attacks create a food token, which doesn't necessarily matter, but whenever you sacrifice a clue or food, it explores. And so that explore part can be really cool. 2 mana for a 2/2 that does all that is pretty good in my mind. I have liked it in um, my Treebeard deck. So, Idol of Oblivion taps whenever you can to draw a card if you've made a token that turn. There should be plenty of tokens being made here. Um, the question ends up being is how much am I going to be relying on clues and how am I going to be sacrificing clues? Is it through the draw or other things? So um, that could be good. Treasure map, just tapping to scry and then flip it, making treasures, can sack treasures to draw cards. I like it because it does a little bit of both. Sir Ginger, whenever another artifact you control is put in the yard, scry one counter on it, and then you can sack it and gain life equal to its power. But that's basically what it is there for the scrying part. Blind Obedience, it taps your opponent's creatures and when they come into play. And then also just the extort is really nice there. Tithe Drinker, Lifelink Extort, Syndicate of Tithes Extort, Basilicus Creature, there for the Extort. Shepherd of Rot. You can tap it. Each player, including yourself, loses 1 life for each zombie in play. Just a nice, cheap way of everybody to lose a life, and you get at least 3 clues there for a bit. Same thing with Sanctum of Stone Fangs. It is a shrine, but each pre-combat main phase, each opponent loses X life. So you're able to do the life thing, and you gain X life, where X is the number of shrines you control. Creeping Blood Sucker, same thing. At your upkeep, 1 damage to each opponent, and then you gain life equal to the life lost. Throne of the God Pharaoh. At the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the number of tapped creatures you control. Now, this is I talked with the judge real quick, just making sure that this works. But if you haven't been able to deal damage yet this turn, and you have a tapped creature, this will trigger and you stack it properly and you just go, well, okay. Teysa's first, Throne second, or really on the stack first, and then Thrones um, starts resolving, deals the damage. Teysa then, as it's resolving, sees that the damage was done, and you get the clues for that turn. So those kind of things are really nice, and we'll get to a couple of different versions of that. Will the Wise will lose life if they don't take the clues. Otherwise, you're getting a bunch of clues this way. Perfect in this deck. Dreg Recycler. Tap, sacrifice an artifact. Each opponent loses a life you gain. I'm not going to say the gain life part, but anymore. But that's nice. Everybody loses life. You got a way to sacrifice artifacts. That's Night Whisper, just a nice cheap way to draw some cards. Priest of Forgotten Gods. Sacrifice 2 other creatures. Any number of target players each loses 2 life and sacrifices a creature. You add 2 black and draw a card. So this is doing a whole ton. Your token deck, you likely will have enough creatures to sacrifice, and then everybody's losing that life. Teysa's getting their clue triggers. You're getting more tokens that way. Should work real nice. Planar Atlas is fantastic for 2 color decks that aren't green. 2 mana, ETB's tapped, but you get to look at the top 4 cards and put a land from them into your hand, and then it taps for a colorless. Like, that's doing a lot. Arcane Signet, obviously, for mana. Thought Vessel. I don't know how many cards I'm going to be drawing in here, so, but also, I like it. So, Orzhov Signet and Talisman and Ornithopter of Paradise, all tapping for manas. Lotho Corrupt Sheriff. Whenever a player casts their second spell each turn, you lose 1 life and create a treasure token. I kind of like these for the fact that, like, if they're kind of just giving you a treasure token and then it's kind of reducing the cost of a clue. I don't know. Like I said, Grim Monolith. I plan on just doing it 1 time. It might just be for sacking clues or whatever. And it might just be something that I think I'm getting rid of. I'm not always so comfortable with it. It might be something that I get rid of Springleaf Drum though, because I never play with these either. So could be fun to see. Prize Statue, ETBs or dies, create a treasure token for 2 mana. Not a bad deal. Mycosynth Wellspring, ETB, and in the yard, each time you get to go get a basic land and put in your hand. Mindstone, yeah. Taps, sacrifice to draw a card. Flowering of the White Tree, this is a token deck, and so pumping your gang and a little bit of protection on your legends is real nice. I mean, it's a fantastic card. Selfless Spirit, sacrifice all your creatures gain indestructible. Everybody lives. So it's just kind of like one of the best fogs probably out there. All creatures gain hexproof, indestructible until end of turn. Players gain hexproof until end of turn. Players can't lose life until this turn, and players can't lose the game or win the game this turn. So it's just going to stop everything, everybody, all the time. Swiftfoot Boots. Oh, the other thought that I was having, um, I likely will always have like 2 mana up, probably to sacrifice a clue. And so I was thinking I like this in this deck more than Teferi's Protection. And not that Teferi's Protection is not in the spot. But Greaves Boots, you got Invasion of Gobakon. Basically, I don't care about that part, but flyers should be able to flip that 3. And then at the beginning of your end step, put a 1/1 counter on each creature that attack this turn. And then you can sacrifice it, and creatures you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. So trying to play with those battlefields a little bit more. It's kind of fun. Reckoner's Bargain, sacrifice, artifact, or a creature, and then you get to draw 2 cards. Gain some life potentially. Costly Plunder, 2 mana, sack an artifact or creature, draw 2 cards. Tarian's Journal, sacrifice an artifact or creature, draw a card. You got Rite of Oblivion as an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice, really just a clue. The problem that I have with this one is it's not instant speed, so then I basically have to do it on my turn, and that would make a spirit when Taste is in play. But for me, I'm gonna cut that one at this point. I like the flashback though on it too. This one is similar, black and a white. ETBs, sacrifice something, artifact or creature, destroy an artifact or a creature. And then this also kind of works whenever equipped creature attacks. Put a 1/1 counter on that creature and each other creature you control that shares a creature type with it, which is really just a spirit flying token. So kind of like that one a bit more. Gets things aggressive. Chronomancer, 1 and tap it. Sacrifice another artifact to draw a card. Deadly Dispute, you can sacrifice a clue to draw 2 and create a treasure. Bitter Blossom is just for more token generation, and I think we will just cut that. Spirit Bonds, I kind of also want to, but whenever a non-token creature ETBs, you can pay a white and then create a 1/1 spirit, and then you can pay 1 and a white, sack a spirit, target non-spirit creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Just a nice protection, and um, that, let's see here. Copy target triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets. So trying to get more clues out of it is not a bad deal, and or it's just copying the triggers. ETBs, you got an end trigger. So if you can make 6 clues, you're kind of set for a bit and you're getting ahead, I'd say. Let's go through and see if there's some actual cuts. I'm going to cut Spirit Bonds. I kind of like it still, but we're just trying to make cuts, all right? Chronomancer. At this 2 spot, the flying's really nice though. I think I want to do the instant speed and maybe a little bit more of the spell slinging part of this. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Just draw a card. Do I care about drawing a card? Chronomancer, Deadly Dispute. I like that one. Probably, it creates a treasure. Tarian's Journal. I like this because it sticks around. Costly Plunder and Reckless Bargain. Maybe those 2 can go because they don't do much else beyond that draw. Invasion of Gobakon. That's okay. Boots Greaves. Yeah, just protecting Teysa. It's kind of the easy thing to do. There, Everybody Lives. Let's stick around with that. Selfless Spirit. It's a spirit. Yes, we do. I don't, and it's something I can bring back a little bit. There's not a lot of recursion, but something that could work. All right, yeah, a bunch of ramp. I don't know how much I care. I don't know how much I really plan on. I guess that's the question. Okay, this gets landed in my hand. Secret Lair too. Um, if people see Grim Monolith, they're just gonna be like, "Well, fuck that guy." Prize statue. Maybe get rid of Grim Monolith and Manifold for now. Just it's a nice idea, but it doesn't have to be there. Whereas price statue can be a decent thing. Lotho, Corrupt Sheriff can't really block as a 2/1. It can be a little aggressive, but people are going to want to block that. I think I'm okay cutting that for now. I like Ornithopter for sure. Talisman, Signet. I- Thought Vessel is always something that is very meh for me. I love the art. I just don't know how many cards are going to be in my hand. This is a lot of incremental rather than just like huge amounts that I'm going to draw. So Planar Atlas, I like Priest, and this is kind of that other bit. Like I got rid of Costly Plunder, and the other one, I think Knight's Whisper can kind of go by the wayside. Question mark? Could be wrong there. Yeah, sacrificing for sure. Will the Wise for sure. Throne of the God Pharaoh. Yep, yep. Yep. I like all of these. Lifelink. The only one, I mean, if I don't, I mean, I like all of them. I want all of that. I wanna know. All right, let's cut Idol of Oblivion as well. Let's assume that the clues are gonna draw me cards, and that should be more than I need. I like the scrying ability, just being able to sacrifice treasures. Let's see here. Take a little drink. All right. 2 and the 3 spot are always the heaviest for my CMC part. And then there's not a lot of cards after that. All right. Feign the Broker. Tap it is basically here for tapping to sack an artifact, create a 2/1 white and black inkling creature token with flying. But it can do a couple other things, but it's mainly there for sacrificing artifacts. I'm okay with that. Bygone Bishop. Whenever you cast a creature spell with converted mana cost 3 or less, investigate, just so investigating tokens. Academy Manufactor. If you are in any of the clues, foods, or treasures, you have this in there. The card's fantastic. Thorough Investigation. Whenever you attack, investigate, and whenever you sacrifice a clue, venture into the dungeon. Dungeons aren't amazing, but you don't have to be attacking to get those to venture into the dungeon. It's a nice little something. I don't know. It's alright, right? I mean, if I'm not that excited, maybe it shouldn't be in there at the beginning. Kaya Geist Hunter, -2 until end of turn. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. That's what that is for. So on your turn, essentially, you're hoping to be able to make uh Reggie. I'll hear, yeah, you can do your thing, but making 6 clue tokens and 2 spirits and whatever other tokens you're making, that's the way to be. All right. I'm sick, so I will not be joining the stream, but remember to like, subscribe, comment, and maybe even share. Thanks, Obadiah. Um, Rensha is suggesting to build a better deck. You're right. You are totally right. I am just building this to make you feel better next time that we play Renchai. That's all I'm saying. Armed with proof. When ETBs investigate twice, and then includes you control our equipment in addition to the other types, and they have equip 2 +2 +0. So just doing something else with the clues. Wojek Investigator, 2/4 flying vigilance, and that has at the beginning of your upkeep, investigate in once for each opponent who has more cards in hand than you. So just a way to create more investigation tokens. Ensnaring Bridge. This is going to stop people from attacking you because maybe you don't want a lot of cards in hand. That's an, yeah, I'm always considering you. Uh, all right. Hopefully you feel better there, Parks. All right. Want want you to start feeling better. That it sucks being sick. Sun came down with a quick headache and sore throat tonight after dinner, even like during dinner. It was hot dogs and mac and cheese, and he didn't eat it. You know he's sick. So hopefully he recovers pretty quick. Hopefully you recover pretty quick. And chicken noodle soup. I don't know. I don't know. I just am miserable. I don't know what to do normally if I'm sick. So in Snaring Bridge, creatures can't attack unless they have more or less power than what you have in your hand. And here you can kind of control what you have in your hand, but you're always going to have at least one in your hand before you attack. I think I'm going to get rid of the Snaring Bridge because I should be drawing plenty of cards. So we'll get rid of that. But Solitary Confinement. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice it unless you discard a card. And so hopefully, you're creating some draws, some clues, and then you have Shroud, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. I think that could be a fun one in here. It's Furious Protection, the best fog. Shielded by Faith, Indestructible Aura. You want to get that on Teysa. A Fanatical Devotion. Create a creature. No, sacrifice a creature, regenerate target creature. So this is better than that white enchantment that makes, because it's just a free sacrifice. It's not creating anything. But Welcoming Vampire. Whenever one or more other creatures with power 2 or less ETB, you get to draw a card. Triggers once per turn. And so each turn you should be, Teysa just triggers once per turn. So they're all working together, drawing cards, making things. Takasi is welcome. Same thing, but 3 or less power. That should work as well. Cryptolith Fragment, 3 mana, ETB's tapped, but you can tap it for any mana, and each player loses 1 life, including yourself. And then it does flip. I don't care about that part. This is good enough for me. Bansu's Monument, black creature spells cost 1 less, and whenever you cast any creature spell, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain a life. So, not a bad deal. Kingpin's Pet is there for the extort. Basilica Guard, there for the extort. That can attack a little bit, that can block a little bit. I like them a lot for that. Braids, Arisen Nightmare, being able to sacrifice a clue to have some things happen. Maybe they're losing life. More than likely, you're going to be drawn more than those cards. But yes, building the new Teysa Red Shy. Drana's Emissary. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses life. You gain a life. I said I wasn't going to say the gain life anymore, but I am. And so that's just a nice way. Flying also is nice. Retreat the Hagra. Landfall. Each opponent loses a life. That's all that matters. Loyal Subordinate. If you have a commander, each opponent loses 3 life. That's quite a bit. Also has Menace. The Battle of Bywater. Destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater, then create a food token for each creature you control. Just a nice little cheap wrath that should leave a bunch of your guys around. Make a Stand. I'm going to get rid of this. Indestructible, +1/+0. Not a bad deal, but Oketra's Monument. It's making tokens whenever you cast a creature, and then also 1 less to cast white. Creatures, I don't think I like this one as much. I'd much rather have the black one. I like the token making, but don't necessarily need it. Starheim Courser. Artifacts and enchantment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. It's a nice versatile card. I think I'm going to get rid of this as well. We can always bring it back in depending on how heavy we are enchantment artifact based. So we'll see from there. Inspiring Statuary, though. Tapping clues for mana, and it's not a tap ability on clues, so you can still tap mana for that. It's in Relic of Legends. Tap it for any color, and then tap an untapped legendary creature you control to add a mana of any color. I think I was thinking about tapping Teysa a lot more than I really want to at the end of it because her death touch is sweet. And so she's a good blocker if you can get like first strike on her or whatnot. Even though I think I got rid of the first strike in the process. So Victory Chimes. This is one that I think I'm gonna really like in this deck, but um I did that with pre-con upgrades, but during each other player's untap step, untap it, and then it can tap for a colorless. So basically, it's reducing the cost of clues. And if you have something that you want to be doing on each turn, something like Calamax or Teysa, um, it's going to allow you to just keep a couple of land open instead of all of your land open. Because really, let's talk about this. You want to be able to sacrifice a clue on each player's turn, including your own. So that's 8 mana. Now, if you have this in play, you can reduce that by 3. So if you have 5 mana, you'll be able to do it along with this. 6, 6, 7, 8. Maybe it's missing on yours, but it's it should be decent. Monologue tax, getting you a treasure whenever an opponent casts their second spell. Archaeomancer's map. Go get 2 basic planes and then into your hand. And then you can play them if you're behind. All right, let's see if there's anything that I think this is going to be a mana like hog deck. So you're going to want to be fairly heavy on it. We'll keep battle. I don't know how much I like loyal subordinate. Other than that, menace is kind of nice. Retreat. Toronto's emissary. Braids, I think works. Yeah. I don't know how much extort should be in there. I want to at least have one in there. Otherwise, that's part of that like mana hogginess I was talking about. Plenty of draw. That's a nice protection spell. Shield or shielded by faith. Investigating. Creature gets +2/+0 and armed with proof. I don't know if this is necessarily what we're gonna want to be doing. Put it in if I need a little bit more oomph, but I don't know if I care about that. Yep, 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 and yes for now. All right. 4, 5, 6, and 7. That should all. All right. Sivris, sacrifice another creature or an artifact. For each opponent, you mill a card, then return that card from your graveyard to your hand unless that player pays 3 life. So really, it's sacrifice a clue, draw 3 cards unless somebody wants to pay 3, 6, 9, and that also triggers the Teysa. It's a nice little bit. Clark Clan Ironworks, sacrificing a clue to sacrifice a clue, get mana. So not a bad deal there. Just free sacrificing is the nice part. Do you have Kaya's ghost form in there? I don't. I don't think I want it in here, right? That's the 1 black enchantment aura that brings her back if she dies, right? I don't know for that. I don't plan on sacrificing many creatures. Master of Ceremonies, just the ability to get drawing or treasures or tokens, like all of that is good stuff, and we'll use that. Search the premises. Whenever a creature attacks you or a walker you control, investigate. So that's for each creature. You're going to get that many clues. It's going to be a sweet card in there. Noted Possession, doubling tokens when they are created. Mondrak, doubling tokens as they are created. Magus of the Moat. I like this one a lot better, but creatures without flying can't attack. So that should allow your spirits to go running free. Betty Brack, Zoologist. Making tokens, those spirit tokens on each turn should allow you to draw a bunch of cards. Aetherworks Marvel. So whenever you sack a clue or sacrifice a token, you get a little energy, and then if you get 6 of them, you can reveal the top and play something for free. That's not a bad deal. It's a good yeah. So Kaya's Ghost form is a good one for the commander, but I'd rather in this instance, I'd likely rather have just like a reanimation piece. And I do have at least one at this point, and that'll likely stay. And so, but she's only 3 at this point too, and I'm going to be Vata Rebirth is gonna be pretty solid in here. But I think I'm gonna be so mana heavy that I don't know how much people are gonna be able to keep her off the board either way, if that's gonna make sense. Um, so maybe. You might be right. We'll see what I end up with protection bits as well. Aetherworks Marvel, just getting free stuff. Crypt Gas, doubling your swamps. Also, that extort is sweet. Kaya's Ghost Assassin. This one is here because each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life, and it can blink itself and blink something else. You know, value, profit. I don't know. I don't specifically have an ETB thing, but that's creating more clues. We'll see. That's another cluey. Mm, mm, I don't know if I have too many ETB guys in here because I just have a lot of artifacts. Yeah, maybe that's worth a cut. We got plenty of little or smaller stuff that can get those hits in. All right, Court of Ambition. So this is 4 mana. You become the monarch, and then at your upkeep, each opponent loses 3 life unless they discard a card. And if you're the monarch, they lose 6 unless they discard 2 cards. So I have a feeling that's going to be quite good. Mirkwood Bats. Whenever you create or sacrifice a token, each opponent loses 1 life. So each opponent, you should be making plenty. The only problem is that this doesn't necessarily play into the making the tokens. And so that could be a problem with it. Maybe we take it out. Because really, if we're creating 3 clues or whatever, it's only 1 loss of life because you're creating. It's worried about the creating, not whenever a token comes into play. And so you are creating roughly 3 clues. We'll cut that for now. Another one, just like Throne of the God Pharaoh, but at the Twilight Prophet, at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have the city's blessing, reveal the top card of your library and then put it in your hand. Each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the mana. And so that is, as long as that you stack that before the Teysa trigger resolves, and you'll be able to get your 3 clues that way. No, no, no. Nope. That I don't think that would be correct, Renshai, because it is stating whenever it's created. So it's not saying a token coming in. So there is a difference for each opponent. Okay. At the beginning of your end step, investigate for each opponent who lost life. And so I guess I would have to look at a ruling on Mirkwood Bats. Maybe not necessarily this card, because that is different than what I was thinking what it was. But creation of tokens happens when you're making them. And so if you're like, whenever this happens, create 3 tokens, that's asking for whenever you create it. It's kind of like what's like it's Nayeth, and it's saying whenever one or more fight. That's kind of what create is coming over, I would think. And so maybe that's getting more confusing. But I think when 5 tokens are created, that would trigger this once in my mind. I could be wrong. So Twilight Prophet, I really like in there. Battle Angels of Tyr. The Myriad allows you to get in an attack on everybody, which is really nice, and it can get you a treasure, gain you some life, draw you some cards. So not a bad deal altogether. Dusk, destroy all creatures with power 3 or greater. So you can see like this is going to be a lower powered deck. And so that I can get some wraths in and keeping stuff around. And then also can reanimate some stuff back to your hand. Smothering Tithe, it just I look at it more of like a clue reduction in this deck. Ink Shield is something I want to play with. Um, but I think I'm gonna get rid of it. 5 mana is a lot for a fog, even though it might be like kind of a game winner thing. It's just a lot. And so I'd rather be doing something else, I think. Thalis, Reverent Medium. At the beginning of each end step, create X11 spirit creature tokens with flying, where X is the number of tokens you created this turn. And so this happens every upkeep, which is kind of nice, even though I wish I had flying. There seems to be a little bit of a flying theme in this deck. Also, 5 mana is a little bit a lot. Oh, sorry. So at this point, I'm gonna cut it. Tamio's Journal. Just I don't normally play tutors, but this is very on theme for the tutors. Sword of Fortune Frontier. I'm kind of assuming I'm going to be drawing a bunch of cards, so being able to play more land from my hand should be really nice. Also, being able to exile cards from the top and playing them should be nice as well. Eldrazi Monument, making the indestructible creatures all indestructible, +1/+1. Feast and Famine, whenever it deals damage, untapping the lands, just getting yourself more mana in a black-white deck. Ogier Tak. This is tripling the amount of token creation. So, Persuasive Interrogator, 6 mana, 5/6. And then whenever it ETBs, you investigate. And then whenever you sacrifice a clue, target opponent gets 2 poison counters. That's kind of like a game winner. I am very surprised this is uncommon. So, Sorin, Grim Nemesis, the +1, reveal a top card, and your opponents all lose that much life for the CMC, and you get to put it in your hand. So that's kind of what that is for. It's a little bit of removal, and it makes a bunch of tokens, but it's there for the deal everybody. Bolus's Citadel, being able to cast cards off the top, and then also sacrifice 10 non-land permanents. Each opponent loses 10 life. So it's kind of that, it's a bigger scale. Just looked it up to be sure. It works how I said. So if Teysa creates 3 tokens, the triggers for each token created. Okay. So it going to be, is that the same thing as when you create 5 tokens? Because hers is investigate each time. So for her, she's creating 3 different tokens, I believe. Okay. All right. All right. I'm willing to put Mirkwood Bats back in if that's going to do 3. Other than it still isn't going to be, it still doesn't necessarily trigger Teysa. It works very well with Teysa, but I do want to be able to trigger Teysa off most of my stuff. So we'll see. It might work its way in just to try and push the game a little bit quicker. But Bolus's Citadel should do some work in here. Martyr's Bond, 6 mana enchantment. Whenever it or another non-land permanent you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a permanent that shares a card type with it. Non-land permanent you control. Okay, so you sacrifice an artifact. They have to sacrifice an artifact. Creature. So it's kind of like a Grave Pact a little bit, but for a lot of your different things. So, Herald of Anguish, 7 mana, but it has Improvise, so being able to tap them clues to make them cheaper. At the beginning of each end step, opponents discard a card. They all do. And then also you have a chance at sacrifice an artifact. It's nice. I have it in there because it works with the Improvise and the sacrificing an artifact, a little bit of removal. But it's not making tokens. It's not having everybody lose a life or damage or whatever. So I think we cut that. And then Meat Hut Massacre. Creatures get -S, -X, which isn't necessarily what I want because it would kill a lot of my stuff. And then whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life. So that is nice, but like I said, I want the sacrifice parts in there. Uh, so I think we're gonna cut that. Thanks, AJ. Thanks for the comment. Hands are meaty. Grip strength off the chain. That's just because I am also all over the place, meaty, and takes a lot of work to just get out of bed at this point. All right, but thanks for joining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 30. 30. 30. 6. All right. 96. Not a bad deal. Anyway. I appreciate that. 2 alone for a little while. No, you can join. You can join if you I mean, AJ's obviously the lead here. So, all right, gonna put this in piles into whatever they're doing, and we'll go from there. All right, mana. We'll go with hurt everybody. Removal. Mana's token doublers. There we go. Draw. Consider Aetherworks. Hurt everybody. A little bit of everything. Removal. Everything. Protection. And mana. Protection? Roughly? I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. Person ender, I guess. That might be too much. Removal. A little bit of mana. Hurt everybody. Draw. Explore is kind of a draw. Okay with that. All right. All right. I guess you got to go, bud. Oh, noes. Let's see here. Got some removal. Mana's plenty of mana in here. I think I'm gonna cut this flowering. I got plenty of my wraths don't want you to be over like 2 or 3. So let's not pump everything. Let's rely more on the loss of life / damage. Draw. That's removal. We'll consider that protection. Ugh. I don't love the investigate creators as draw, but I mean it is what it is. Protection, draw, mana. We got tons of mana. We got to figure out how to reduce. Investigate. That's a little bit of both, and that's a token. What are you then? You're just there. We can cut Feign at this point. How did Whisper Drinker Vampire make the cut? I think that's such a good card. You know what? I think that's what the 6 mana one that whenever a creature dies, somebody loses 2 and you gain 2. It has like ward something. I did not buy that one today and don't have it necessarily on the way. I think it's a solid card. It's definitely Blood Artist's, like, big brother, but, not something that I'm gonna have in this deck because this is not necessarily a, um, sacrifice creature deck, it's a sacrifice clue deck, and then hopefully I'm able to build up enough stuff. So there isn't any Zulaport Cutthroat, none of those kinda cards, it's more just like, as you can see, these are the damagers. Alright, let's go through. These are the token increasers. We have at least 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd say the first cut we're making is Kaya if we wanna go into that, but I kinda like, mm, let's cut Kaya. Let's I think that's worth it. Nope, 4 mana. Whenever a creature with less than 2 power enters, drain 1, gain 1. I might have missed that one, but I don't think I saw it, and so then I do think I'd like that in here for sure. So, I'll have to check that one out. Wisp Drinker Vampire. Yeah, not sure. I didn't say that at the store today, um, and so I just didn't think about it, but yeah, I think that would be really good here. So I agree. So kinda doublers. Let's look at our removal a little bit. Singular, everybody's sacrificing. Persuasive, that's not even really removal, that's just kind of like a random ass one. Has an activated ability to give creatures with power 2 or less lifelink and death. I fucking missed that card. I do not recall that card at all. Is that new? It has to be new because I don't know it. Fucking savant here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna say right now, cutting Martyr's Bond. 6 mana is a lot. It's always been a lot for the card. I just really like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then if I'm going to make more cuts, probably cut the 2 Wraths. Just pinpoint that shit. 3 or greater, 3 or greater. Yeah, we're fine for now with the new set. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely have to keep an eye on it, and I'll try and work it in here. There's plenty of new cards that I wasn't able to get a hold of, just being that it was officially released today. I didn't go to any pre-releases. So that's where I'm at. I sat on the fucking phone for 2.5 hours trying to get gas to a place because of just a fucking mix up after mix up. All right, this is um too many protection spells. So we're gonna have to slim that down and figure out what the fuck we're gonna do here. All right, fanatical devotion, shielded by faith. I really like solitary confinement. Oh, there's a lot of good ones here that we're trying to choose from. That's gonna be rough. I'm not even on. All right, let's doot doot. Let's do some of this on key. All right, let's do this. All right, free. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. I think I'm gonna get rid of Shielded by Faith. I can go Boots, Greaves, Everybody Lives. 4, 5, and 4. All right, have a good night, AJ. Thanks for swinging by. Good luck. I know you're gonna stomp. All right, too many protection spells, even though some of them are doing different things, like Magus of the Moat, Search the Premises, are stopping combat my way. Eldrazi Monument. I like that, just that indestructible part. Really nice. I like those are giving Hexproof Shroud. That's the whole crew. Whole crew, whole crew. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's cut to Furious Protection, not because it's not good, just because we got some other stuff going on, right? I like Surge, I like Flawless. Let's give in. You and permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn. Prevent all damage that black and or red sources would deal to creatures you control this turn. That feels pretty good. Flawless. Fat. Gobacon. Everybody lives. Selfless Spirit. I just cut one at this point. I like Eldrazi Monument. I'm going to have plenty of tokens to be able to sacrifice to it, so it should stick around forever. Magus the Moat should legit keep people from attacking me. Search the premises. Yeah. Oh, and then those two actually work together pretty well too. Solitary Confinement. I should have enough mana land there to not get in trouble. And so what we're looking at is maybe cutting Selfless Spirit. Let's get rid of Invasion of Gobacon, just because I like the idea of a cheap flyer being able to get through and at least start getting the clues going. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so all right, let's form and function now, right? All right, indestructible. Can't be targeted. That's indestructible. Stopping them from attacking. Reanimate. Dot. Stopping them from attacking me. And then that is just bringing stuff. It's kind of that. All right, so the question ends up being, what are we doing here? Like I said, I like that. I want to try that out. Flawless Maneuver. It's pretty nice, especially in go wide decks. And so let's get rid of Surge of Salvation, because the hexproof for everything is kind of only good when it's protecting a slight few that are good. So, all right, Surge can get cut. I think Solitary Confinement or Magus of the Moat goes here. And I think skip your draw step. You have Shroud. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. Solitary Confinement intrigues me. So let's cut Magus of the Moat. 2, 3, 4, 5. I kind of like these 5 at this point. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 feels like a lot. So let's see here. I like Eldrazi Monument. But maybe that's a problem because everybody lives. Let's cut Everybody Lives. Wanted to play it, but I think Eldrazi Monument might get the cut too. Might get the axe. Let's go over life loss. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of this is doing its job. 2. There's a bunch at that 2 spot, isn't there? And so it's not necessarily an extort deck. So I'm not going to get, oh, that's a 1-er. And so I'm not going to get upset about cutting extort cards. They just seem like really obvious spots here. 3s. 3, 4, and then that at that top spot. Is that going to be worth it at that top spot? X damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain X life. With lifelink onto the battlefield equal to the highest total of life. 7, 8, 9. I think we can cut that. Just cut a lot of fat just so we can be doing um all that nonsense. All right. If I'm going to be cutting something here, I would say these two that can't don't have flying. Mm, Tide Drinker for sure. A Shepherd of Rot as well. I don't have a lot of zombies, a couple of them. Retreat to Hagra. There aren't going to be a lot of land. I don't have Crucible, and so it might not be worth having in there. It could be all right. Four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15. And I think there's a slight discard thing going on. Just Vicious Rumors and Court of Ambition. Now, this is only a partial because they can fight against it. Same thing with Will the Wise. Everything else is kind of a trigger. I have Limb Duels Hex, I think, coming in as well, which is kind of just a trigger against everybody. All right. Not doing too bad here. I don't know how much more I need to cut because basically that's also, ones, twos, threes, and one at 4. That should all be coming down right around Teysa's time. I think that might be a good reason to get rid of the Soren as well, just because it comes so much later that it hardly matters. All right, let's do some drawers. So we got Battle Angels of Tyr, Sword. And that's doing a little bit of, these are doing a little bit of both. So we gotta compare them to the piles as we're going. We'll set them up there though. All right, Bygone Bishop. At 3 spot, 1. Threes. Zoop zoop. Twos. That's a sorcery though. Don't like that. 5, 6, 4. It's a fiver. All right. 4s, 5, and a 6 there. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 20. We want to definitely, and then plus the 4 up there. So what do I love? Obviously Esper top. I like Journal. I like Benny. I like Welcoming and both welcomes. Like those a lot. All right. I kind of really like the idea of Sivrus and Twilight Prophet as well. And then I think these two are nice and on flavor. So then the next bit is I need and or want some artifact sacrifice. So these two Deadly Dispute. This being sorcery speed is kind of half-ass rough. Transform it. What's it do on the backside? You may cast a creature spell from your graveyard. I'm not really sacrificing a whole ton in that regard. I probably like both of these more than anything. Flying Vigilance, flying. 5, 6. I like the idea of Bolus's Citadel where I can just like cast cheap stuff and then do a sack a clue, draw like an expensive one off the top, and then move on. Kind of like that idea. But Aetherworks Marvel seems nice too, but I don't have anything that I can really cheat out that's big. So Aetherworks Marvel can get cut. I think Tarian's Journal can be cut. I think Treasure Map can be cut. Like Bolus's Citadel, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then let's compare these down here. I still really like, obviously, Academy Manufacturer. That's a non-issue that's going in. Let's read that. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card that has more cards in hand than each other player. Then create a treasure token if that player controls more land than each other player. Then you gain 3 life if that player has more life than each other player. Maybe that's an okay cut. Master Ceremonies. Might be an okay cut. I mean, Adam played it like 2 weeks ago and he drew so many cards off of it. Felt real disgusting. Have you thought about Drana and Limvala for this deck? Is that the one that gains all of the like activated abilities and stops all the other ones? I have not. Um I don't think it's really that's the one. Yeah, it just it's not making tokens. I think it's a good hate card, but I have a problem with hate cards as in like they either like kind of ruin a game by like stopping everybody from doing what they want to be doing or being half-ass dead cards. Um and so with it not being my real plan of doing that, I I don't plan on it having that in here. Um I think we'll get rid of Forge and Frontier and we'll keep Master Ceremonies. We can get rid of Sir Ginger. Although I'd be able to scry a lot, I'm pretty sure. And we'll cut Astrid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 17. That ain't too bad. There's a couple in there. All right, going through the ramp pile. All right. Mox Opal, Paradise Mantle, Springleaf Drum, Cryptolith, Stone, Planar Atlas. Yep, da 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 da. 3 2s. 4 3s. All right. So pretty sure I want these 4s. I want Cart Clan at this point, Smothering Tithe, and Crypt Gas. Those seem great in here. Sparring Statuary seems solid. Same thing with Victory Chimes. Let's. I think I want to get rid of Monologue Tax at this point. Victory Chimes. Map is going to allow me to put more land into play, and I just got rid of the sword that does that. So, okay. 1, 2, 3. I think those auto go in along with 1, 2, 3. So these are questionable. I want Mox Opal in there along with Soul Ring and Wayfarer's Bauble. Let's see where we're at here. So we know we have 2 that go back and forth, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12, 17. I think for now I want these 2 in, and I'll cut these 3. Just because they're a little bit different. I don't really know how creature heavy I'm going to be. This is a fantastic card, but gotta make cuts. Let's see here. 1, 2. 19. Not a bad deal. So 19. 20. 30. All right. 30. Oh my. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11. We're at 71 here, folks. That was not a bad deal. That has been aggressive cutting. Hmm. Is there anything else I need to be thinking about? Let's see here. All right, let's go for sack outlets and seeing how many artifacts and creatures that we're going to sacrifice. 3. Let's see here. Yep, that's a sack outlet. That is one. Not a whole ton that I want to actually sacrifice other than the clues. So I don't know how much I like that necessarily. That is a sack outlet. Let's see here. And that's all just manas. Oh, there we go. I probably should get an Ashnod's Altar in there. That's all right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sack outlets. Probably should get something into the. Aren't a lot of sacrifice artifacts in the land base that can be the case. 2s and 6s. 2, 5, 3. It's an artifact or a creature. This is 2 creatures. That's what I should be doing. I don't hate any of that. I don't know if I want to be cutting any of this either. All right. That's both. That's creatures. Both. Both. Both and any creatures. Only artifacts. That's only clue, and that's everything. So just 2 that are only creatures, 2 only artifacts and or clues. Everything else is flexible in that regard. For now, I think that's we don't cut any of those. The next bit is let's see what all can just kind of like non-combat deal damage, lose life to everybody. So that'll be important to see how many of those things actually exist in the deck. I think there should be enough. Um, Could be an interesting. Just kill him. So there definitely can be like a sacrifice thing going on. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. So the question ends up being, how bad can it get? I think that should be fine. 4s. I think we cut. Oh, we already did that one. All right. All right. Will the Wise, Loyal. I mean, I like the look of that. Maybe. All right. Let's see here. I like those two. I like both Citadel. Hold on. Hold on. That's something we actually want in here. Losing plenty of life. That'll get you far ahead in life. Court of Ambition. Bop, bop, bop. I like all those. Although that'll wait a turn. That's all good stuff. Triana's Emissary has flying, Menace. Gets them. So maybe Basilica Guard's got to go. It's going to be able to sit there and block for days. But I think this 2 spot's going to be really nice. Never mind. I would definitely say that a 3-drop that can block for days is better than a 2-drop 2/2 with Extort. This just can't attack. Let's get rid of Syndicate of Tithes. That I think seems better. So I kind of like these. I might be willing to get rid of Vicious Rumors, even though it does a whole ton. Hmm. Bop, 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 bop. Plenty of life gain in the deck too, which can be fun. I think that's it for now. All right, so I think what we're going to end up doing is let's go CMC like we did at the beginning. And like I've been doing for each thing there too, but I don't think I have 4, 5. Let's move the 4 down this time. Doesn't normally happen, but all right, let's just see how things are shaking out. Curve wise, 3, 1. That's a 6er. I'm just very sure that Persuasive Interrogators is a great finisher in here. I am very certain of that. Let's cut Strionic Resonator. It's always one of my last cuts. I dig it. 4s. 3, 4. 4, 2s. 3. I consider that a 5er. 2 and 3. All right. 3 6ers. That's probably not enough. This is definitely low going. All right. 2, 3. I like all of these quite a bit. I'll be able to. That is a sack outlet to a degree. Feast and famine. I'd say we're going to be probably pretty close to done. So, one master of ceremonies. I probably like. Am I trying too hard? I guess that's a real question. It can get me drawing tokens. Treasure tokens can be doubled, but yeah. So if people likely just picking creature tokens, I can potentially double that. So Benny Brax, anointed, da 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 da. Search supremacist, smothering tithe. Yeah, all that seems good. It's that 3 spot. All right. Victory chimes might have to go, unfortunately. 3 mana can kind of be a lot. Yeah. Welcoming. Then create a food token for each creature you control, which isn't necessarily bad. 2 or less. Kingpin's pet. Loyal subordinate. Yeah, that's all making some sense. I believe I'm down under 70 at this point. I like that. I like that just can make the end of the game happen a lot quicker. So 1/1 counter on that creature and each other creature you control that shares a creature type with it. I mean, once you flip it, 4 to flip. Death's Dispute, Chronomancer, mana. 2 degrees. Yeah. And then the onesies. Add a rebirth. Yeah, that'll make sense to me. All right, let's just check where we're at. We should be close, and that should be good enough. 3, 4, 5, 6, 15. 15. 15. 15. So that's 60. 68. 68. So we're like 5 cuts away. I ain't going to be mad. I'm not going to drag this out for you. Hopefully, you found some really cool cards that you might enjoy. Let me know what cards you plan on playing with your Teysa deck if you're going to be building it, or any suggestions, things that you think that I'm missing, just like AJ was pointing out, and Renshai. And so, new cards are fun. They're cool. Hopefully, y'all enjoy building. Check out the CommanderSmith. Share, like, subscribe. Bye.